Hey, it's Ryan with Bluffton Builders. Today I'm here with a very special guest, my dad, the founder of Bluffton Builders, Gary. I brought my dad on this one because he was very involved. This is a very structurally intense job. I brought him because he can speak so well on it. So what we did is, to give you a brief synopsis of the job, the Jackos wanted to extend the front of their house, and nothing's just as simple as I want to extend it. There's always a lot of steps. So let's talk about the structural complication of this project first.
Well, first of all, for what you see right now, this is extended, I believe it was 16 feet forward now than where the front wall of the house used to be. And in doing that, we picked up more space in the interior of the house, being in the foyer area, gave them this wide porch that they did not have before, and these beautiful steps that give it a grand display as you enter onto the porch.
Now, something I remember going over the plans with you, and something that I was understanding, but it was just so intense, was these areas where we had to connect was very complicated. And a lot of it was in the plans, but also site decisions.
Yes, because like Ryan said earlier, this was a heavy structural project. And we knew it right away when we saw the initial plans that this was going to take a little bit more than a normal procedure of how you were going to build it. This one was a definite, wow, we need to check this out before we get ourselves into it. On our initial visit, Ryan and I both, we visited as much as we could as far as checking out the existing framing, and
got up in the attic. You start crawling around. You start getting into the job. You start trying to do some discovery on day one. Like, what does the framing look like? How did they build this? How can we get into it? How do we not make this affect the rest of the house in a negative way? So that's a big thing we did there.
In doing so, the owners themselves were very impressed with the fact that we got into it just on an initial visit, because there was no way I would have wanted to proceed working on this house or even given an estimate of what it would take to build a house or a structure like this. So it worked out well. In the end, we really had no snags. We did it in probably, I would say, 5 months complete. And of course, it was done in the midst of bad weather in the winter.
Some of the things that worked out to our favor was even this door was a change order from the original door, and it didn't set us the change order. The homeowners made the change order during production, but that still didn't like kill us while we were getting the job done. It was held back a little bit, which for some people could be held back a long time.
Yes. So we proceeded. The owners were very nice. They didn't mind the dark house for a while because we did have the solid blocked off.
Yep. Now let's talk about the door unit. Explain this door unit. This isn't just a standard door unit.
Well, what makes it a little more complicated is it's 10 foot high, which is unusual. Most of them are 8 foot high, and it's an impact glass door unit. So the weight of this unit is quite a bit.
Impact means it's a thud in the glass. It's hurricane rated. Down here we have to be like Miami-Dade rated, right? Yes. So it has to be hurricane rated. If something hits this, it's not gonna shatter. It's gonna stay more in like a sheet. But you can see this is a huge door. The other thing I really like about this front porch is this old world tabby product that we use on the pavers. I love putting this anywhere I can, on fireplaces, on floors, on pool coping. Anywhere I get the opportunity to use this, I do, because it pulls that like coastal feel as much as or as little as you want to use. It's just a nice white bright tile or brick or coping to use. So from here, let's go inside. Let's check this out. Go through this big door. I'm gonna go to this side. So the first thing that hits you in here is the extra space, and you wouldn't know there was extra space here, but we do. So every time we walk in here, we're like, whoa, this is awesome. But to give you an idea, we are right about here is where the original was, right?
Yes. Yes, it was.
So heavy. This is the front of the house. We had to take apart and make sure that when we built this way, everything was still supported. So there was temporary walls everywhere. And like my dad said earlier, this was boarded up for almost the entirety of the project. In fact, I think this was boarded up and this was boarded up. So we had this like just dark hallway as we were working in here. But the other great feature in here is the rugs on top of it, but it creates a great texture from the rough sawn, this is white oak? White oak, rough sawn white oak, straight to the tile that has some really fun texture in it. And then you can lay the carpet on it too. So what I think's cool is just you're getting hit with all these additional textures as you walk through the house. It's really nice. Something else that's really fun, if you look over here, how do we do this? Push on this side. There it is. Always got to start with the right side. That's where your coat closet is. I love that. Absolutely love the hidden features that we can do. Nice magnetic latch. Just push the latch and you're back and nobody would ever know the coat closet's there. It's pretty sweet. A couple other like things that happened, and you had mentioned it earlier before we started shooting, was like there was always these little add-ons that while you're here things happen. What are some of the add-ons that you like that we did?
This opening was pretty much foot here, foot down there. Brought it in because the owners wanted a little bit more separation between this big foyer they now had.
So usually we open things up for people.
Yeah.
In this scenario, we opened it up here, but closed it in here.
Yes.
And I think it brought great dimension to the room. Didn't we do something else over here on with the fireplace,
We
right?
totally changed this out in a, it just used to be your classic wood mantle. And now it is
It was a big white surround.
yes, it was a limestone.
This was a
My
big,
memory serves me correctly.
big white limestone surround. It was just this big honking piece of stone. They're like, we need to change this. And here's the other thing. They built this house. So they built this house and then they lived in it and then started catching the things that they wanted to change. And I think that's important, where even when you build something, you get settled in and you're like, we need to change it, because this house is not that old.
Yeah, it's 5, 6 years old at best.
Yeah.
And what's really neat about this mantle is this is all stone, and every edge, every corner is mitered. So you won't see any actual full edge of the thickness of the material because it's all mitered together, as you can see, all the way through. So that took some good craftsmanship on the stone people. So,
And again, I like the layers. You have the material here, it steps back in, steps back out, but there's no, it's got a lot of play to it, and that's what makes it fun. Just go upstairs.
yes.
Let's go check out the upstairs of this addition.
The reason we want to start right here is you can see this wall here in the front of the house. Imagine this used to go straight down to the other end where that door is at. So we have now changed the whole look of this, and they have themselves a beautiful sitting/TV room. Has great height to it.
This was one of those additions where this was actually such a tight hallway that my mind started not being able to conceive this space, because you start seeing all the other exterior elements. Because remember when we were up here originally, he had all these cars and all these planes and all these models set up, and it felt you were very close to it.
Yeah.
Now this is an entirely different room. I mean, he just told us when we got here, he's like, oh, I was upstairs taking a nap. It's my favorite room in the house now. There's something else. Again, I know we talked about it downstairs, but this flooring, it's a rough sawn white oak. I mean, explain the flooring and what it takes, because we had to feather it in sections.
We had to feather it in. You had to have mill marks, saw cut marks put into it. But more than anything, above all, it was getting the stain color
to match.
Right on. So we did hunt down the original floor installer that put this in, which was a great help because he knew exactly the wood, the process, and the stain color. So it all came out well in the end, given the fact you cannot tell the difference.
I was just about to say, my favorite part of all of this is actually, you would never know we were here. Everything matches like it was already here. One more thing I want to do is let's go back downstairs before we end this. I just want to show you this cool little like dry bar that we did and some kitchen details as well. Other things they added on while we were here, just being flexible with the client. Yep, we're gonna head back downstairs. All right, so in the kitchen real quick, there used to be like a hutch piece of furniture here. And this is one of those projects where while you're here and the homeowner goes, hey, can you take a look at this and tell me what you think? And then it turns into, we did a whole kitchen cabinet, like custom redesign. So explain to me a little more about what happened here.
Okay, but Ryan had said this actually, there were cabinets here, but it had a built-in hutch effect or design to it. And this wall right here did go straight out to the edge of the cabinets, or what you see right now. And then you had that separate bar area right here. So it was only this wide, and I guess it was a little darker than this because the tops are much brighter. And again, the great cabinet maker we have was able to, I believe we started right here. And all this is brand new. He matched exactly. And what I really love on this, it's the full thick backsplash of the same material. And it's a seamless, flawless job.
You were even saying there was some cabinets that he kept
Yeah.
and he matched up.
Yep.
And you would never know.
No.
That's my favorite part.
These were original. And he reworked the doors. There were grids in them.
So we got new glass for them.
Yes.
It's all new custom cabinets, new wet bar. Just kind of made everything flow together.
And then with that, we changed the color of the island, the range hood, and it just brought everything together.
Tied it together a lot better.
Yes.
All right, so one last spot we're gonna go check out. We have a wet bar there, but what else do you need on the way to your bedroom but a dry bar? So let's go check that out next. All right, so over here, master bedroom. Behind Gustavo, the cameraman, there is the office, but what do you need when you walk over here, except for maybe a cold beverage? So we have built-in drawer fridge here, super nice. Again, I love the stuff where you would never know it was there. And my dad just made a good point. This actually was the entryway, and that was a wall. So we flip-flopped it. And again, that's a lot of make sure the structural engineering is correct.
Yeah,
so you can do that.
Again, especially right in this area, because different beams were tying together pretty much all at the same spots, intersecting with each other. So a lot of thought went into the structural end of things on this project, but it turned out beautiful. The lighting, the under shelf lighting.
Yeah, I love the hidden LED strips underneath.
And I have to give the owners credit due to the fact they knew exactly what they wanted, which is very helpful to us as the builders.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here at 307 Waterfowl. Dad, thank you for joining us today, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. If you would like an addition like this, your kitchen redone, your bathroom redone, a back porch, whatever you need, we're here for you at Bluffton Builders. You can find us at www.bluffton.builders or give us a call, 843-707-7777. Appreciate it, and I will see you soon.